Yes. All right. Welcome to another recording of Maya. What we'll be looking at is making a very simple UV map, or using a current UV texture and applying it to a polygon. So the polygon in question is the cube. Very simple, very easy, right? And now what we're going to be doing is applying a texture to it. Now UV mapping is actually not so difficult, depending on the type of object you're working with, your themes, and your know-how. So the first things first, let's add a material to this cube. So I'm going to right click, apply a new material, and I want to use Arnold's shader, standard surface. This one, I'm going to call it Minecraft block. Cool. So the thing about UV mapping is that it's dependent, the textures are dependent on the material. So we normally would have a base color, and if we're using things for like the colors of things, then it would fall underneath base color. If you're going to be using things like specularity, we fall under specular. And everywhere you see these little checkerboard things, you can actually apply an image to it or some other thing. So for this one, the base color we're going to be using is a file, and that file is in my source project. Let me just jump over to my folder in Maya, modeling 2019, source images, Minecraft, Earth. Open that and let's see what we have. Alright, so I'm gonna close that now. Yeah, we're using Arnold. So if I actually click on this and start rendering Arnold, I mean, we don't actually have any lights. So for Arnold's light, what we're going to be using is a Skydome light. And if I try to render that again, I get something looking like this. Now this isn't exactly what we want. We don't want it to look anything like this. The reason why it looks like this is because the UVs are actually off. For us to rotate around the scene, you can see just how off those UVs are. Right? So we'll close that. You go to click the object, make sure the object is selected. Then you have to go to where it says base and you choose color. Choose color and then just click the checkerboard. And the checkerboard should give you the option of adding a file. From the file, you select the file and then just add it to your thing. Next, what we'll be doing is playing around with the UVs because we do need to do that. So I'm going to open up the UV editor. And what you can see here is what we have. Right? I'll just put this somewhere here. So my objects UVs look something quite like this. And you can see that they are very much out of place. And if I were to go face selection mode, you can see that this face is located here. And if I try to move it, it's still attached to that part. Right? So there's multiple ways you could overcome something like this. One would be to export a UV mesh and put this texture back in and fix it up in Photoshop where you want it to be, and afterwards it will come out nice. But that's time consuming. What I'm going to do with my UVs is I'm going to select my object, go to UV, and I can try one of these, any of these. I have things called split UVs, merge UVs. What we need to do is split a few UVs. I'm going to right click, click face, and I should have options here, cut and sew, right? I don't want to cut anything. So I want to change something. You just have to import the image first. Once the image is imported on the actual material, as soon as you open up UV editor, then you will see the picture. So UV editor is just up here beside the form, and you just use UV editor. All right, let's split some stuff. So we have cut UV edges, split UVs. I'm going to select that. When you split UVs, it allows you to actually select each individual cube and move it around. So I know that this is one side of it. So I want that side to correspond with probably this one, right? And it looks like my image is actually stretched. So I'll have to just do due diligence and just select the edges and just move this down. Well, let me actually split everything first. That way I don't have any issues later. So UVs, split UVs. Then my edges. Scale this up. Scale this up. Try not to get any white in there. Right? And I'll turn on the texture so you can see what's going on. Hopefully. Looks like that. And nope. Oh, there we go. So the first one set properly. Need to deal with this one now. Yes. Or just image. It's the one that's blue. Yeah. No probs. I'll go back over it after I finish this recording. That's part 2. Now we go to the next slide. Select this one. Move it over. Carry this up. Scale it. Now this is probably more easy because it's a cube. But when you have other shapes and shapes have sides, then it can get kind of tricky. So let's deal with this one. Move this over here. Scale this up. But you'll notice something, that this thing needs to be rotated, right? So we come on over here and we rotate it. And finally the top part and the bottom, we grab this over here. And the bottom of it, same thing, just move it down. And we are done. Yes. And that's how you get your Minecraft box. Yeah. Yep. So I'm gonna take this, duplicate it, move it over, do that, do this. Probably move this over, carry this out. And I have made a wonderful, wonderful looking Minecraft. Yes. Let's render that out and see what it looks like. Alright, these are obviously too shiny. So I just change the material of it, turn down the specular and metallicity. And remember, because it's one material for all the objects, I change one, all of them will change. So I'll just lower the specular value. I don't know. I think, huh? There we go. Oh, by the way, to see the actual render Zigo file, and you just drop it. Yes. That's it for this recording.